It is now possible to run a company with zero human employees. I know this because I legit named my company Employee Number Zero LLC. I had this idea 2 years back, but it became a reality today because of Paperclip. Paperclip is basically an AI orchestration dashboard, which allows you to manage multiple AI agents working together hand in hand to build a product or to do sales and marketing for you. Unlike every other Paperclip video that shows you how to deploy it, hire your first AI CEO, and then how to build your first SaaS, I'm going to show you how it's actually useful by building your marketing funnel as well as your sales outreach. This way, we can compare the cost to revenue. We can see how much does it cost to actually run the server, how much does it cost each AI agent to run, and what's our return on investment in terms of marketing output or even sales contracts from potential clients. By the end of this video, you will learn how to deploy 4 agents within Paperclip itself. First is your marketing director, which can orchestrate other marketing agents, such as your content writer, which automatically writes content for you and your website every single day, and then a backlink exchange agent, which emails potential competitors and other relevant blogs in order for you to exchange backlinks and boost up your domain authority. And then also a sales orchestration manager that allows you to scrape competitors' website, find potential new clients, and then outreach to them directly via Payload CMS. All of this is running all day, all night on a simple $10 per month VPS on Hostinger. You can install it with just one click. It's super easy, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this end to end. The organization chart I just showed you was made possible using a technology called Paperclip. It's a new open source technology. I think it's less than 2 months old. It's got 62K stars on GitHub and it's personally super awesome. Like it's pretty simple to set up and running. And all it does is basically like a Jira or Asana, if you're familiar. It's basically like a task management tool where you can interact with your agents, not in form of chat, but in form of task. Because this is how companies like this operate. Companies operate with people, with structure, and with tasks that they're supposed to do on a daily routine. So this is the concept behind Paperclip. It's not an AI agent, but it allows you to work with different AI agents. For example, if you use OpenClaw for your marketing or your sales, and you use Claude Code for most of your development, these are the different agents that you can integrate to your Paperclip almost directly. And it's pretty simple to use. And the stuff that I like the most about it, got heartbeats, which basically like it wakes up on its own every few hours or every few minutes if you set it up correctly. And it just starts working on a task that are very time sensitive. For example, if you want to check your email every 15 minutes, this is the perfect way to set up the heartbeat. The next one that I really like is a cost control because it shows you how much each agent is actually working and spending in real time. This is very similar to like human cost. It also has organization charts. This is the place where, if you work in a company, you know how the structures, the approval request actually is very important when you try to manage the quality and control the output of each organization. For example, if you want to do like 50 sales calls every day, you need hierarchies, you need approvals, and you need to know whether when you're proposing a particular solution or a service invoice, whether the amount is correct or not. So Paperclip has a lot of other features, but it's not an AI agent. Instead, it has got a lot of features and tools inbuilt that allows you to manage it. So this actually makes it perfect if you want to manage a whole company of AI agents. And not only you, it allows you and your teammates to manage it properly. For example, if your finance person wants to manage and control the cost of how much the sales spends, how much the marketing spends, and also if your IT wants to access and manage who is allowed to push a deployment to the server, who is allowed to do QA, and what is the kind of approval request supposed to look like before a feature is shipped to public. This is the best way to manage the identity and access. It's actually pretty simple to set up, and you can start with the direct npx control. Before, I've set it up locally using like basic git clone npm store, but I don't really like it so much because I run out of RAM pretty quickly, and I think it's much better if you deploy it on a VPS so that it's able to work autonomously. For the VPS itself, I mostly use Hostinger. The link is in the description below, and you get 10% off if you use the link that I provide. But this is the place that I've been using for years on row, and I deploy everything here from my domains, I deploy my websites, I deploy my WordPress, I deploy my VPS, everything in this platform. It's basically a tool that behaves like a cloud, allows you to deploy websites, allows you to create them and manage them all in one platform. It has got a lot of services such as to deploy WordPress, but I mostly use for the VPS hosting. So this is the place where you can get a private server and deploy any kind of code that you want on it, whether it's crawlers, whether it's init or other different tools. They also have an application catalog. So this is the where we can browse a lot of open source tools such as WordPress, init and other simple things that we can deploy. For today, we are going to deploy Paperclip. So here you can just press deploy. It's going to take you to a landing page where it explains what the key differentiations are, what are the alternatives, and you can choose your VPS plan. There's different types. I usually use KVM2 because I do a lot of crawling and do a lot of scraping. But if you're just a simple user, you can use the KVM1 approach. Press deploy and it's going to take you to the checkout page. In the checkout page, you can try and see different periods. I think 1 month is too short for you to understand the value of Paperclip. I usually recommend 3 to 12 months. So here we're just going to try the cheapest option, which is 12 months period. And you can use my promo code, which is JAYAIA, to get an additional 10% off. It's pretty useful if you're going to try it for the first time. And once you have chosen a server location, which is nearest to you, I'm based in Bali, so it's in Indonesia. So you can choose a nice server location based on the task you want to run or just the kind of proximity to you. Once you're confirmed, just press continue and then it's going to take you to a registration page. It's a simple process. Once you've finished the checkout process, you're going to be taken to a homepage that looks something like this. This is where you can see all your different business, your different websites. I've been using it a long time, so I've got like many assets over here. I have assets such as which WordPress sites I've hosted, which Hostinger Horizon websites, and also some temporary sites that I use to experiment with. I also host a few of my domains over here, a few of my VPS, such as my init as well as the new KVM that we just bought. So if you already set up the Paperclip, it should look something much simpler. But if not, if you've just bought a KVM2, you're just going to look at something like this. Here you can choose again which country you're based in. I'm based in Indonesia, but I prefer the Malaysian VPS. I think it's much more stable, to be honest. And then we search for Docker applications. Over here, just search for Paperclip. Press it. Select. Over here, you have an admin name, admin email, and admin password. This allows you to log into your Paperclip dashboard later on. So make sure you remember this. For your email, I suggest you use something that you normally use. And then for your admin password, you can use what's auto-generated by Hostinger, or you can use something new. I'm just going to use the auto-generated and save it somewhere for now. Later, we can go ahead and change this. Then next you will need is your Anthropic API key. There are multiple options that you can use from Anthropic API key, OpenAI, Gemini, Cursor. I don't suggest you use any of the OAuth kind of login because many of my friends have told me that the accounts has been banned and it's pretty much good if you use the API key instead. Now I'm going to be using the Claude API key. To do this, I want you to go to the website. Over here, it's Claude's platform, which allows you to generate API keys, manage your billing and everything. Go ahead and log in with your Claude account and you'll be taken to a dashboard. Press your name at the bottom. Press organization settings. I want you to go to billing and make sure that you have some credits here. If you don't have any credits, I suggest you top up. Otherwise, usually when you register for Claude console, they give you about $5 in credits and this should be enough for you to test Paperclip for the first few days. Next is you go to the API keys. Press the create key and we're just going to call it Paperclip. Don't worry, the API key will be destroyed by the time you watch this video, but I want you to copy this and bring it back to your Paperclip setup. Once you have pasted it here, just press deploy. And we're going to wait for the project to establish itself. Once everything has been set up, you're going to see two things. One is Paperclip, which is organization dashboard we're going to be working with. And second is traffic. Traffic is basically a reverse proxy and load balancer that allows internet to access your Paperclip securely and quickly. Next is we're going to see that we have access over here, which is open. When we press the open, it's going to take us to the Paperclip dashboard. Over here, it's going to tell us to log in with the email and the password that we have created in the setup process. Once you press sign in, it's going to tell you to create your first company. In Paperclip, you can work with multiple companies. I'm just going to create one for myself. Okay, we're going to name the company Ghost Blog. And then we're going to tell the mission of the company. Ghostblog is basically a WordPress automation tool that allows website owners to create content and schedule them automatically and publish them to their original WordPress site. The goal is to acquire as many users as possible to use our platform to automate content publishing to their WordPress. Next is we're going to create our agent. By default, the agent name is always the CEO. Claude Code has already been set up by default. We're just going to choose the model as Sonnet 4.6. In my opinion, it's the best for the cost and also for the output. I use it every day. Opus is too expensive. Haiku hallucinates everything. So we're just going to check the adapter if everything's okay and press test now. Okay, when we see the results, we see that the working directory is valid. The command is executable. The Anthropic API key is set. And Claude will be using the API key instead of the subscription credentials. I always prefer this because a few of my friends have told me that when they log in using the subscription credentials, many of their accounts has been banned by Claude, so I do not prefer that route. We see that Claude has said hello successfully, and we're just going to proceed. Okay, something for the agent to do for our first CEO. I'm just going to tell it, hire your first marketing director. This is the template that Paperclip gives you to hire a founding engineer, give a hiring plan, give a roadmap. But not like everyone else out there, I don't really care about the developing the tech at this point. We already have the tech and we just want to scale up the marketing and we want to scale up the sales process. So we're going to tell it that you are the CEO of the company. Ghostblog is a platform that allows many of the entrepreneurs and website owners to automatically create and publish content to their WordPress sites on a daily basis. This scales up the SEO as well as domain ranking. I want you to hire your first team of marketing director, which will delegate tasks to its team. The team should consist of people who can, 1. is to write articles regarding recently published content or like news that's happening around the world into the Payload CMS of the Ghostblog website. And second is to outreach to other WordPress site owners in order for a backlink exchange so that we can scale up our domain authority as well. Everything looks good. We're going to press next. Have the Ghostblog company CEO, hire marketing director, create an open issue. We see that the CEO agent here is live and it's running. It's resuming its first task and has already started working. We see that it has already started spending $0.21 in the few minutes that it just started running. Over here, we see that it has already started hiring a new marketing director. We can see the purpose of a marketing director. This is pending board approval and cannot be invoked yet. To access the board approval, just go to the inbox. Over here, it says that it's requesting approval for hiring a marketing director. Here you can press approve or reject. I'm just going to press approve. And then it's going to start hiring the marketing director. Also strategy content, SEO growth, Payload CMS, backlink outreach. Everything looks pretty nice. Let us look at the inbox for more tasks for us to do. This is the task view that is being handled by the CEO at this moment. To see what it's currently doing, we can go to the issues section. In issues is basically we can assign new tasks for the CEO or the new marketing director to do. For example, over here we can just press new issue, write a new blog post. Here we can assign it to the CEO or the marketing director we just hired, or the default project is no project or the onboarding one. We're just going to give it a simple description. I want you to write content about how the MCP in WordPress now allows different AI LLMs to create content on the go and basically makes it super simple for every single entrepreneur to start publishing content. We're going to press create issue and then it's going to start writing and doing the work directly. So over here we can see the organization chart. Now we have a CEO and we have a marketing director. It's already live, it's already doing its work. If you want to see what work it's currently doing, we can just go ahead and go to the dashboard. And now the marketing director is already working on its own tasks autonomously. We can also add more skills into Paperclip. For example, by default, we have the Paperclip script here. We have create agent, create plugin, and then the memory files. If you want to create new skill, we can just name it, short name, and then the description. To get the latest skills, I usually go to the website, skills.sh. And here is basically a public repository of any skill that you want to search. For example, I'm just going to search for content writing. Article writing, we have a few of many installs. So I think this one looks pretty good. We can see the link over here. And I'm just going to copy this and bring it back to our paperclip. Here, paste it and press add. Okay, and now we have a new skill installed. Let us look at the skill MD. Over here is mostly for article writing. When to activate, what are the core rules, how to have the band patterns. I think like this is very much the cliche stuff that AI used to write, how to make the quality gate, voice profile, and everything interesting. So now we already have a new skill, we have already added it, and our marketing director should be able to work fine. Let us look at my inbox. What are the stuff that I'm supposed to do? Okay, so it has already created its WordPress MCP document. It has already stated about why is it a big deal, AI. I think the article looks pretty nice. This is the chat. You can say new things like, okay, you can reply like, use the new skill that I have added you to improve the quality. And now the marketing director is working on the script. Okay, it found the new skill, article writing skill, and then it's using it to the existing blog document. We see that the status is currently in progress. We can look at issues and then we can look at it in two different ways. Either we see it as a list view or we can see it as a Kanban view. I usually prefer this because it makes us easy to drag and drop tasks which is like in progress or like new tasks and like who is currently doing it. For example, like the CEO has finished hiring the first marketing director and then this task is already complete. And next is the marketing director who's writing a blog post. It's currently still running, so we're just going to let it cook for some more time and we're going to check our inbox again. We see that this one is already completed. Then we see the next one, hire your first marketing director, is already completed. And then writing the blog post, it currently needs review. So let us look if it's much better or not. WordPress now supports MCP. Your content calendar can now run itself. Now, content calendar is something new, and I think it's going to attract a lot of people. AI diagnostics by design, it is mentioned, and also has an outbound link. This is super important because these outbound links going to improve our site's credibility. Okay, it also has a CTA at the bottom. Looks much better, much better. Okay, we see that all the tasks has been done and it has already created the recent article. Perfect. Now we need to allow it to publish the article into the Ghostblog website. This is the current website of Ghostblog. Right, in the resources page, we have like a few content and all this is managed by Payload CMS. Okay, so this is the main dashboard of the Ghostblog Payload CMS. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to API keys and we're going to create a new API key. Here we're just going to call the API key, assign it to a new user, give it a label which is like Payload CMS, enable API key, and enable like what it's able to do. So we want to enable it to like create posts. Okay, create, update, delete, and find post. So once we have an API key, we're just going to copy this, save it, and then we're going to go back to our Ghostblog. Here we're going to go to our marketing director. We're going to go to the configurations, and over here we're going to find for environment variables. Okay, we're going to call the environment variables such as payload API key. We're going to paste the value, then we're going to press seal. So seal allows us to hide it so that it's never able to be seen again. It has just the API key, so now it's completely hidden from sight. Okay, once this is done, we're just going to go ahead and press save. And we're going to go to the skill side to see if it has, we're just going to press article writing so that it's able to use this skill from today onwards. Once that's done, we're going to go and see the instructions. This is the current agents.md, and we're going to see the dashboard, how many times it's been running every single day, how much token usage, everything is there. We're going to go back to our existing blog post, and then now we're going to tell it, like, please publish this as draft to the Payload CMS. We're going to set it the marketing director, and we're going to press send. Okay, it's checking the memory, it's understanding what content was written. and then it's checking for the environment variables of Paperclip. Now it is searching for tools.md for the available tools. I don't think so we have any tools yet for Payload CMS. So let's see what it's going to do next. Okay, very smart. I have not provided the Payload CMS URL, and then it's marking it as blocked. So if we go to our issues and we see over here, something is blocked and the marketing director is not able to do. Let us see what the marketing director is actually saying. Okay, the marketing director says that it has the API key, but it does not have the payload API URL. Okay, so let us provide the payload API URL. Okay, this is the API URL. You're just going to copy this, bring it to our paperclip, and then paste it again. Say this is the URL. And we also tell it, let's create the tool to post to Payload CMS. Okay, query balance is a bit too low, I guess. See our billing, we see our credit usage. Ooh, it's quite is used a little bit of credits. So we're just going to buy, we're just going to add like $10 more to see how much we can actually get done with $15 balance. Auto reload by USD. Okay, now we have a little bit more balance. So we're just going to tell it to resume its task. Try again. Okay, while it's writing and it's waiting to publish. Okay, while waiting, we can see that our organization structure is so flat. CEO does everything, the marketing director does everything. So I'm just going to create a few more tasks for the marketing director. First is to hire content writer. Based on everything that you know regarding the content writing format, how to write content, which skill to use, and how to interact with the Payload CMS, I want you to hire a content writer and give him the task to do this every single day. Here we can choose the assignee. It's of course for the marketing director, and there's no projects yet. I want it to be in the backlog because once it has already completed the task, then I'm able to assign it to him so that the task is delegated properly. You can give it a priority if it's critical or high, and then you can upload any reference documents if you think it's needed. I don't think so it's needed, so I'm just going to press create issue for now. And then we're going to create another issue to hire a backlink exchange email writer. Assign it again to the marketing director, no projects, and we're just going to give it hire someone who can do daily outreach to about 20 different site owners in exchange and offer to exchange backlinks in order to boost both sites' domain authority up. It's no paid and it's just a free backlink exchange. I want the agent also to wake up every 1 hour to see if there's an email reply and then write an email reply back in order to make the backlink exchange work. Okay, I think this one we can already start working on it. So we can create issue for it to start working on to do. So when we go to issues, we see that one is in the backlog, one is already in progress, and two is done. We see that the right blog post has been completed. Okay, let us look at all the tasks. It says the draft post has an ID. It supports MCP content itself. The admin, you can look at the URL. So if I press this, okay, it's going to take me to a site. Oh, it's already uploaded to my blog post. The WordPress supports MCP. Calendar runs itself now. Okay, perfect. Everything looks great. It's not published yet, and I can publish it if I want to, or I can add like more details like SEO images, the meta images, as well as the hero image. I don't like that it does not have a hero image, so I'm going to connect it to another tool for image generation. I think we're just going to connect it to Higgsfield because it's pretty simple. And now I think in the issues for hiring the content writer, it can already start writing. So I'm just going to assign it as to do. Okay, now the marketing director has doing a few things. It has issues having a backlink exchange email writer. Okay, can create agents permissions. I cannot submit the request directly. Sure. Let us go to the marketing director. Let us go to configuration. But here we need to give it a permission to create new agents. We're just going to press enable, and then it's going to be able to start running again. So when we go back to our issue section, we go to blocked, cannot hire, have already given you access. Okay, we go to our issues again. We can see what in progress looks like. Hiring the content writer is still happening. Hire the backlink exchange email writer is currently happening. So far, let us look at our cost. Over here, we have already spent about 3.37 on inference and what the ledger looks like. So this is more or less who has spent how much. I think the CEO is the most cost effective by far. And then also the marketing director. You can also split it by projects. So if one company has like multiple projects, we can look at the different stuff there. This is a complete log of all the activities, when do they run, and this is the settings on what the company actually looks like. And next, we need to set our goals. So this is the company goals that we have currently. I'm just going to say that I want a new goal, which is 2 backlink exchange per day. It's like, make sure that we can get at least 2 backlink exchanges, and if not, we need to increase the amount of email outreach up to 100 per day. Okay, this is if we want to make it like a parent goal. Otherwise, we can just make it a task for an agent, and we can make it active or not. So once we have already created a goal, we can see that this is something that all the agents will look forward to every single day. Okay, everything is looking good. I think all the agents are working. Some of them are like pretty much blocked. Still running. Okay, our new content writer is here. The agent needs board approval. We go to inbox. We see that agent, we can just approve it. Everyone looks good. Okay, it has also given the new skill to the agent. Over here, we see that the article writing skill has already been given. So now it's pretty easier for them to maintain the consistent style. Okay, we see that our content writer is already active, has not spent any money yet. Our marketing director is already like worked up. Our big backlink exchange is already like running its first assignment. Great. So I guess the whole company is already up and running. And my main focus is just to get marketing going. This is the new organization chart. We have a marketing director, we have backlink email exchange, content writer. And now I think I need to add a few more. So we're going to tell the CEO, hire sales director, give it to the CEO, project, hire your sales director. Okay, perfect. So now the whole company is working hand in hand with one another. And the best part is that Hostinger makes it super easy whenever you want to migrate from one service provider to another one. The best way to do this is just to go to your service provider, press on the environment. Over here, you see you have Anthropic API key. So if you want to change this to another Anthropic account, you can just replace this. Or if you want to change it to OpenAI, you can just add another environment variable here. I think it makes it super simple if you want to like switch between providers with one another. And also it gives you granular control because each of the AI agent that you have created, now you can control like what kind of Claude model are they using. You can give some of them a lesser or a cheaper model for them to not use as much cost. For example, like content writing is pretty much like basic every single day. And then you can also ask the marketing director to create a few tools that are generally usable amongst the other agents. For example, if I want a tool to create images using Higgsfield, I think I should be able to use that and create a general tool that every one of them can access. Now we see that the sales director has also landed in the table. One very important thing is that we need to set instructions super tight because instructions were made by the CEO agent, but it may not necessarily be what we want. For example, here you're an agent at a Paperclip company, but actually they're an agent at Ghostblog, right? So these are a few things that we may need to adjust later on. For the skills, I highly suggest to create multiple skills. Another configuration you need to make sure is that when you go to runs, over here you can enable the heartbeat. So heartbeat allows your whole agent to run at particular intervals. This allows the agents to wake up on its own. But one thing you need to understand that each of this actually costs something. Every time your agent wakes up, it has a particular cost attached to it. And this will consume more and more tokens the more your heartbeat is actually running. Here we can pause it if it's idle, and then we can reset any sessions that there is. Another thing you need to know is about routines. So when we do an hourly reply check or when we do a daily backlink outreach, we can actually set on how often do we want this to run. Right now it's running every day at 9 a.m. UTC. Right? For example, you want to make it run every day at a particular time. Here you just need to adjust what time it is, and it's all based on the time of your server. So over here, it will run based on your server time. You can also check out the previous runs if it has run any and the activities such as when you created them and when they have been triggered. One thing you need to set up in your whole paperclip is a cost. I always go to budgets, and over here we need to set a budget policy so that it does not go over the cost. The best way to set up a budget is to go to an agent, and then for the agent itself, you can go to budget and select how much you wanted to spend. For example, the marketing director, I don't want it to spend more than $20 in a month. Here we're just going to save the budget, and then it's going to automatically see how much is remaining. By default, Paperclip gives you a warning at 80% and then stops all execution at 100%. So that's one thing worth noticing if your agents are going out of budget. Another way to reduce the cost of agents is to go to configuration, and over here set the model to something cheaper like Claude Haiku 4.5 or 4.6, and also go on lower thinking effort. So this is important if you want to just like write content and make sure it's pretty simple and has like a very simple and standard prompt. You also need to set the run policy. So the heartbeat interval every 300 seconds, which is around 5 minutes, this backlink email writer will wake up on its own. There's actually 4 ways for an agent to wake up, right? When it's being called by another agent, on heartbeat, on a certain timer, and also when it's given a particular task by the main user. So this is actually one of the way it can wake up. And if you want to increase this, maybe make it something like every few hours, so that this way it does not consume so much cost. What I like to do is I usually like to turn off the heartbeat. And when you turn off the heartbeat, then you can set up custom routines and wake it up at certain hours of the day, which is perfect for like singular tasks that they need to complete and then submit. Yeah. So at the end of the day, this is what my organization chart looks like. We have the CEO, we have the marketing director, backlink email writer, content writer, and sales director, all working hand in hand to make sure that this company grows and scales in the right direction. If you would like to set up Paperclip on Hostinger with just one click, the link is in the description below. Don't forget to use the promo code JAYAIA to get about 10% off on your next purchase. If you want the link to the 4 agents that I've just built, I've made it for free and it's there in the link in the description below. So subscribe if you love AI, if you're learning about it, because I post reels about this content every single day. Comment below to let me know what you're building with Paperclip and I'll be the first to reply.